the Browns to the block. We bring that pride. No cap, no spin. Just talk that hits. From downtown lights to the Lake Erie grid. Steam rises high off the Cuyahoga flame. In the city of work, we don't play no games. Skyline whispers stories of hustle and grind. Cleveland's heartbeat never falls behind. It's 216, where the voices collide. Holding it down like a tide won't subside. No fluff, just fire. This truth takes flight. Let's get to the facts. Yeah, starting tonight. Through the struggle and roar, we rise unbowed. From the quietest streets to the gathering.
What's up? The man Doss. Welcome to Let's Get to the Facts, episode 29. Don't have my man Coach Shot with me today because he is not feeling well, so we wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. But I do have a special guest with me, my man AG, Aaron Green.
What's up?
Former college football player from the YSU Penguins. He's also a big-time actress here in Cleveland, Ohio, and he's also a personal trainer at AG Elite Personal Training. My bad. Oh, personal fitness. So yeah, welcome my man on to the show. Everybody.
What's up, everybody? I'm just happy to be here. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. So what's up, man? Like, what you been up to?
Just working, trying to be stressed less, man. This world has got us all messed up, feeling a certain way, and I'm just trying to get through the day without doing something stupid. How's that?
I definitely get that, man. But I want to welcome you and thank you for stepping in for Coach Shot, man. I sure he appreciate it as well.
No doubt.
Topics we're gonna talk about, man, and we're gonna jump right into it. We're just gonna jump right into it. So right now, the status of the Cleveland Browns. What do you thinking about this, man? What do you think about the Browns status?
I personally don't like it, and of course, I'll just talk about the draft. I didn't like who they picked once they dropped down. I didn't mind them dropping down, but I didn't like Graham at that position. I'm a big offensive guy, and I believe if you got a 40-year-old quarterback,
yeah,
I think you need some protection up front. And so there was some linemen there that I really enjoyed, since, my first point was to grab Carter at number 2. I like that whole aspect and being hard to block two of them on the edge. But, when they dropped back, I didn't mind because I like what they got when they dropped back. But I would have liked one of those old linemen or one of those linebackers. I can't think of the name. I think it's a guy from Georgia. But the guy from Texas, lineman, an old lineman. There was a guy from South Dakota State. And so and after that, I don't know. I don't understand the Browns. I don't.
It's so funny. That is what the biggest consensus was throughout this draft this time. It was like, what are they doing? What's going on with them? Like, what direction are y'all heading in? Because as I talk with Coach Shot, I tell him all the time, I said, the biggest thing that I don't understand is what direction are y'all going into? Because y'all obviously got Miles to stay on board. But you can't tell me that 5th round pick was what made him stay and sign that contract.
Right. Right. And go ahead. Sorry.
So it just makes me wonder, like, what is the angle we're heading in? Like, what's the direction we're going?
Well, I think that's been the problem since they came back in '99, is this team has not found a philosophy.
Facts.
And if you if you look at these other teams that have survived, even through struggling draft picks, they still have a philosophy.
Right.
And this team, because it's been so much wishy-washy between owners, between coaches, between quarterbacks since '99, I guess Derek Anderson was the last quarterback, the franchise. He wasn't even a franchise guy. It's Tim Couch.
Right.
Ever since Tim Couch, this team has struggled to find a philosophy. And how does it take that long to find a philosophy? I don't
I
get it.
I thought we had one when we had Nick Chubb running the ball. I thought we was going back to the ground and pound, Chubb and Kareem, and that was giving me feels of Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Thank
like,
you.
hey, I'm with this. And
Right.
then come to find out, Kevin Stefanski didn't like Kareem Hunt that much. They started beefing. That's why they ended up letting him go. And then when Chubb went down and they needed all those people and they brought him back, I was like, oh, all right, this might be able to mend this fence. And then they let him go again.
Right. And so ever since then, I don't understand. And let's take Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has had what, one owner, three
Yes.
coaches, and the
Yes.
same philosophy ever since. Strong ass defense and just not to lose offense. That's it.
You're right.
And this weather that we have is nothing we can do about it. They should have built a dome, yada, yada, whatever. That's a different topic. But they have not found their philosophy, and it has hurt them, man. And who it really hurts are these fans. Holy smokes. They got a following.
Yeah.
They got a following. And I just don't get it. Every year it's the same. Every year it's the same. It's the same. It's the same. This year was no different.
I'm tired of the phrase. Well, let's get ready for next year.
No,
I hate that phrase.
Man, I am so sick of that. Let's get ready for yet next year. Let's get ready. Even this year, I was watching one of those TV sports heads. They were talking about next year's projection in 2026. This season hasn't started.
Exactly.
For the Browns.
Right.
And I just don't. I don't. I don't understand the whole quarterback situation. How you got 5 quarterbacks in the room? One is never going to play for the Browns again. Let's just get that out and open. He's going to receive checks. That's the way I feel.
That's probably how it's gonna go.
You got Flacco, who shouldn't have left 2 years ago. Good Lord, that was silly.
But you know who was the cause behind that?
Who's that?
Andrew Berry. He said fans don't know what they're talking about. If we listen to the fans, he was like, we would probably be 0-16 all the time. And I sat back and I thought about that statement when you made that. And I was like, why don't you just say you didn't want the quarterback controversy because Joe Flacco came in a short time and won over Cleveland. And now that you realize that your problem, DW4, is not who you thought he was going to be.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, you want to try to right your wrong by bringing in Joe Flacco back on because you saw he went over to Indianapolis and played and helped them.
Help them out. Right. Exactly. And that's what a veteran backup does. And when that starter can't rock, then he can come in and not lose the game for you.
Exactly.
And then you just let Schwartz does his thing on defense and everything be all good, but they let him go.
But
now they bring him back.
I'm going to tell you, though, I was really hard on Schwartz this year because the defense looked terrible. I understand we lost JOK, which is something we're going to talk about. But, I understand that. But at the same time, man, we got to really sit back and put a lot of that on his shoulders. That defense couldn't stop nothing either. The offense, I get it. The offense got off the field quick, but the defense let people score quick too because they couldn't stop nothing.
Well, that whole offensive theory of getting off the field quick, that
Right.
ruins a defense. And sometimes people might not say, no, it's a team thing. And that defense looks at that offense and like when they go 3 and out and you hear on the sideline, punt team up, punt team, and it's 3rd and 6. I mean, they just looking at the offense like, man, let me get my helmet on, man, and try and stop this trap that they keep running. They look down at them. They have no confidence in them. And so that might have caused it.
Yep. And it's so bad just watching it. So I put a lot on his head also. But okay, so we know we're losing Nick Chubb. I heard something about Ford taking a pay cut, which I don't really understand the logic behind that because technically he should be the starter. But they're basically pushing him out the door too because they don't drafted 2 new rookie running backs. So that means him and Strong are basically on the back burners.
And I didn't understand him taking a pay cut anyway in this day and age. I thought he was still serviceable to go elsewhere for I think he was at 3.38 or something like that. And then he's down to 1.78, which doesn't sound bad, but tomorrow could end definitely for these gladiators. So I don't know why he took the pay cut. Could he not find something else elsewhere?
Maybe is he still in his contract to the where he probably wouldn't even be able to negotiate?
No, there's always negotiation. That's the NFL. I mean, I guess you get locked in. Maybe I don't know, but it seems strange to take a pay cut.
Right.
For
you ain't really making that much as it is.
Right. I mean, it's much, but it's not much,
Right. Not according to, I mean, when you compare him to a ton of the other starting running backs, he's at the bottom of the barrel.
He's way at the bottom of the barrel. Exactly. Way at the bottom.
So I don't know. I mean, to me, I was just like, that's interesting.
And we don't know. He might be getting cut and sent elsewhere, and then now he costs less for that other team, but then at the same time on his team, he could come back and be throwing in all kinds of incentives. If I do this, if I do that, which he might not have with the Browns, he can have with the other team to push him up to where he might be near $9 million a year or $10 million a year guy. So we don't know. We don't know. It's the NFL stands for not for long, and these guys know it. And there's some backroom deals that we won't ever know about. We can just speculate. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you said that because now here's speculation for you. Ready?
Go ahead.
Speculation is HASLAM forced Barry to draft Shedeur Sanders. What do you think about that?
Don, you already know, I try and stay away from conspiracy theories as much as I possibly can. But good Lord, I gotta believe that call went to Barry and he's there. Let's pick him. Because we all know these big millionaires that own these teams, if they can make money off of squash, they will make money off of squash.
Right.
And they can. And so I think a phone call did happen. And it seems like a HASLAM pick. Because, one of them said in the interview, I think it was Barry, he was like, this was the plan all along. Well, how was this the plan and you picked Gabriel? That doesn't make sense that this was the plan. No, Barry, you are the fall guy. You got a phone call from higher up and said, you're getting Sanders right now. But nothing. You're getting Sanders. I'm leaning towards that way.
So it's interesting to hear you say that, he's the fall guy or whatever, because when it was, or that this was the plan all along. I read an article and it was quoted that Andrew Barry said, sometimes it's just about fit. And he just didn't fit what we were trying to do. So then you turn around and you draft him in the 5th round. And I posted this on Facebook. And I said, so wait a minute.
Yep.
He didn't fit. Now all of a sudden he fits. I was like, man, get out of here. And then when
That
they
makes
show
no sense.
everybody in the room, in the war room, and they're all like this. And they got these looks like disappointed little kids on their faces. I said, man, that was a HASLAM move because HASLAM wants a star quarterback. HASLAM wants his program to move because let's be real. This man is trying to build a dome here in Cleveland. He's trying to build a dome. Like you said, if they can sell squash, they're going to sell squash. This man is trying to build a dome in Cleveland, and he knows in order for that to happen, two things. You got to have a winning product on the field, and you better have a star quarterback with you because a quarterback is
100%.
going to move numbers. It's going to move the program. It's going to move numbers, and he gets it. It's the coach's ego. It's Barry's ego, and everybody's trying to put all this stuff on. Oh, he didn't interview well. So what? What does that have to say about him on the field? You see what he can do on the field. Now, if you're a real coach and you're a real coaching staff, y'all going to get him to do what y'all need him to do. You being threatened by his brand and all of that other stuff, man, that's garbage. Like, I don't even want to hear none of that. That's all garbage to me.
They said the same thing about Lamar Jackson. He didn't interview well.
Yes, they
And
did.
now every team would take him from here to eternity. Now, you brought up something that I want to touch on. What really drove me nuts on Cleveland in the war room is when they picked Tyson Graham, they literally clapped like this. That drove me nuts because if I'm Tyson Graham, I'm looking at, well, I'm going to, excuse my French, everybody, I'm a fuck it pick. Like they picked me because they had no other choice.
See, I think that might have been cameras, though. I think that might have been cameras because when they showed him pick him, they was excited. They did this when it was Shedeur Sanders. When it was Graham, they was actually excited about that pick.
Okay, so then let's go to when he picked Shedeur. They're just clapping like this. If you look at all the other teams that picked, they were jumping up out of. They could have picked the number 2,800 punter in the world. They were jumping and screaming. You shoot the Cleveland, it's like they was going to get a colonoscopy or something. It looked like they were headed to the divorce hearing. It blew my mind. Like, why are you guys not excited? So therefore, that's why that conspiracy theory makes sense. Just my thoughts.
Hey, I'm more than positive that's what it was. Cause like I said, this dude sat up here. HASLAM is I want to win guy, but he also understands the game. And he sat back and he was like, okay, Gabriel barely stretching 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's a knock on anything because Drew Brees was a Hall of Fame quarterback at 6 feet. Kyler Murray is actually not a bad quarterback at 6 feet. It's 5'11", truth be told. So it's like it's not that it can't happen. And understand, I am not dogging Gabriel at all. I thought he was a very good quarterback in college. But one thing I did not know is that he was a journeyman. Like I didn't know he played for as many teams as he did.
Oh, yeah.
So that was one thing that kind of shocked me. I was like, oh, okay. But he looked good in Oregon. But guess who else looked good in Oregon? Bo Nix. So it's like you got all of these guys, and it's not saying that he's not going to be successful in the NFL. But when you take in 6'4", 6'5" Shedeur versus a barely and you know that the kid can play and throw the ball. Like people started making up these lies. Oh, he can't throw a deep ball. I don't know what games y'all been watching, but I saw the dude throw 50, 60 yards on the run into the wrong side of the field and still been able to launch it.
Right.
So how you gonna make those type of assessments? Man, stop it. So it was just weird to me. So
I think the Browns are going to be forever weird until, and of course, winning solves anything and everything. And who knows? They might go they might go 14-2 or whatever it is, 14-3 this year. Who knows? But from
Okay.
what we're seeing now, it's a very suspect. And
Yeah.
we're so used to suspect here. And
Yes.
that's the sad part. That is the agreed sad part.
Exactly. So, okay. So now let's just go ahead and move on then. So the next topic is, after knowing that Stefanski and them really didn't want you, can this work? Shador and Stefanski? Because I know what I told Coach, I said, I want to know how that phone call went. Now, I know Shador was happy he got put on a team,
Right.
but I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, how did that phone call go?
You know what? Everyone right now is holding the Lombardi trophy. Let's just be real. Everybody is the world champ, NFL champ.
Right.
So again, is it going to work? Hell, we didn't know Drew Brees was going to work after he got quickly shifted to the Saints. We didn't know, they said Allen, who was in Wyoming, well, he didn't play against no one, and he can't do this. He only had 45% completion rate. Lamar can't interview. So it's just all speculation until it's the 53 plus 10 and they hit for the first time for real. I mean, that's all. We won't know. But as far as the paper looks, as far as them not clapping, as far as what do you think that phone call went? I don't think it went very well. On paper, the Browns look to be another D- year. That's on paper. But the game hasn't started yet. Maybe they will click. Maybe they won't.
Right.
Who knows? I don't think so, but who knows?
I'm so there's something that okay, going to a team and the coach wasn't extremely happy about having you on the team. That concerns me. And the reason why it concerns me is because of one person. You know who that person is?
Go right ahead and tell him.
Jamarcus Russell. You remember him?
Oh, yes.
So Jamarcus
Mr.
Russell,
he gained.
Yeah, but let's talk about him when he was in college. He was a phenom in college.
No doubt.
Phenom, okay? So then when we sit back and we talk about, he was one of the top picks that went to the NFL. He went to the Raiders. Right. Now, remember we talk about what happens behind the scenes and stuff. Everybody always took what the organization said, and nobody ever asked Jamarcus Russell until well after his career. And when he actually had a chance to talk, he spoke about how the coaches in the NFL personally set him up for failure. He said that they was giving him the wrong times to show up to meetings. So then when he gets there, they're like confusing the hell out of him. They didn't give him the whole playbook. They weren't giving him plays. So then he goes out there and he's trying to just, wing it and trying to make it happen. And he said that they literally like messed his career up. That concerns me about Shador because his personality and everything is way bigger right now than anything in the NFL coming right now. It's bigger than anything in the NFL. Number one jersey sales, everything. Are y'all going to use that to try to ruin this man's career? Or are y'all actually going to try to develop him the right way? That's what concerns me, is thinking about what happened to Jamarcus Russell, who was a big ego, big persona, big arm on top of it. And then we're talking about what happened to him. He got screwed.
I don't think it's going to come to that because everything now, what was Jamarcus Russell? What was that? 10, 15 years ago? What was that?
It might have even been longer than that. I don't even remember. Hold on. Let me look that up on the trusty iPad. Let's see.
Because the Sanders family is so polarized.
Yep.
And they don't, Deion doesn't have any fence. and he won't hold back if something like this was going to happen. I totally believe that, and and you could say that hurt Shedeur in the draft, or you could say it helped him. Either or, he is not going to hold back at all.
I would hope not when it comes to his son, but I mean
that's the other part of
it. Exactly, and it can get ugly. It can become personal. So
yes,
and me personally, I already think it became personal. The moment you decided to try to play in my son's face, it became personal. That's
right.
just me, So I'm like, I don't know about that one, but to me, it already became personal. So let's see. Jamarcus Russell was 18 years ago.
Okay,
so it was almost 20 years. So
right. So things.
Say that again.
Things have changed. Things have changed a lot in 18 years, and I think that they will not be able to hold that back if the relationship is not. And plus, to hold something back, you got to have a great poker face. Yeah. And I don't think Stefanski, Barry, HASLM, Shedeur, the whole Sanders clan, they ain't got no poker face. It comes straight forward. So we will know sooner than later if this is going to work. We're definitely going to know that.
So I'm curious because I'm like, how are y'all gonna make that work during the preseason? You got 5 quarterbacks. How you gonna make that? And we lost a preseason game. How are you gonna truly be able to evaluate them? Because I don't want to hear everybody gonna get an equal amount of reps in practice because we know that's not gonna happen.
Well, no. I think Flacco plays maybe four downs in the preseason. I mean, how else are you going to be able? And Watson is never going to play. Let's just take him out. So there's 4 quarterbacks in this room.
Okay.
So you could have there's four quarters. So you could flip and flop, and Flacco has 1 quarter, and what's the name has 2, and you can go from there. Kenny Pickett has quarter number 2, and then we go to the rookies after the halftime. I mean, you could do that, and then you could flip it, but we have to see what these guys can do under fire. That's the whole point. I was listening to one of those guys on draft day, and it blew my mind what he said. And my wife had to hear me yell at the screen. He was like, the NFL slows down. I was like, the NFL has never slowed down. That's why there's less than 2% of people that go from Saturday to Sunday. It never slows down. Now, you have to get the experience so you can see the matrix of the game, and it'll slow down for you, but it's never slowed down. Right. And that's what we got to figure out. We got to get these guys in the fire because you don't really get it in practice. You can't, if a blitzer is coming and he doesn't get blocked, he's just going to run by you. We need to see what you do in the real game. So we got to see what they can do, and they're going to have to put them under fire. And that's the only way it's going to work. You can't sit them. You sit them, these fans are going to go crazy.
Right.
And then you're going to have to listen to the fans.
I know when I saw that Shedeur got drafted, and I want to say it was Denzel Ward, but I might be wrong. It might have been Greg Newsome also. But I think it was Denzel Ward who tweeted, "Let's be legendary." Because that's his or time to be legendary.
Yeah, that's his thing. Right.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that spoke volumes because he didn't text that or tweet that when Dylan Gabriel got drafted. He didn't even tweet that when Graham
didn't say nothing. Right.
But when Shedeur came, he said, "Time to be legendary." I said, Now that right there, that says a lot because if one of your leaders on the team is behind him, that might make Stefanski get pissed because now it's pushing Shedeur up front.
But we want coaches to be pissed in the NFL. You want your team to be pissed. You do. There
Okay.
is no, there's no tomorrow. NFL stands for not for
For
long.
long.
There's
Right.
no tomorrow. So if Stefanski's pissed but has to play him, so be it. Flacco is friendly as all get out. He's did his. He'll be happy to help him up. So maybe
Right.
this will help. And the other two get traded. I don't. That's it. That's all we got. That's all we
So
got. That's what they leave us every year. Is what if? Why not boot him? It's
I don't
it's
understand.
crazy.
Like, they should go ahead and just make a move with Pickett now, because I don't I don't really see the point of keeping him around.
Nope.
You got a rookie with Dylan Gabriel. His fire could come at the fact that he might not be starting over Shador, so he might want to be, you know what I'm saying, on fire over
Right.
that. So that,
Right.
so that might work out in his favor, because he might be waiting for his time. Because
Right.
Flacco know ain't nobody picked him up to be the starter for the whole year. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, now don't get me wrong, he can play. We know what he can do, but
Yeah.
we need to move in the right direction of where this place is trying to go in the future.
Right.
And I think, let Flacco come out there, let him do his thing. And then when he start doing what Flacco does, start throwing them interceptions and stuff, it's time to give the young buck a chance to come out here and let the crowd get excited. Let him come out there and play a good game.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But I don't see how he's gonna fall short. I don't see that. I mean, with
Mhm.
everything he got in his favor, with you coming from the football family, that man's been seeing an NFL offense since he was a kid.
Right.
The only thing is gonna be different is seeing the speed of the
Right.
game. Because now
Yeah.
you got the elite coming after you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And not only do you have the elites coming at you, you got the elites going out to these routes. And so what you used to have time to, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4. No, you got 1,000, 2, let it go, let it fly. That's your decision. Here we go. Next down.
exactly.
That's it. And that's what you got in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
Definitely. And I can and it's crazy, man, because like I worry about this kid so bad. Like, I'm not worried about him coming here to Cleveland, because I wanted him here in Cleveland over Travis Hunter. I've been on record saying that
Mhm.
for the longest. I
Mhm.
think he fits Cleveland better. I think he can manage Cleveland better. I thought it was dope that he went to John Marshall High School too
Right.
when
That
he
was
got
dope.
here. And I like the questions the kids was asking him and how he handled himself with it. And it's cool because I've never heard him talk about having to be a role model and knowing that people are watching him, these young men are watching him.
Mhm.
I've never heard him speak of that before. And I thought that was dope that he did it. And it made me mad that like the news covered it for a small piece, but like everybody on
Yeah.
social media blew it up. And that's
Yes.
what Cleveland should have, the organization, the Browns themselves should have been blowing that piece up, because
Right.
his brand did it. His brand made sure everybody saw him come out there and talk to them kids and, you know what I'm saying, give out the real. And when, he wasn't negative, he was real positive about the opportunity. So I thought that was dope.
I personally didn't want him on this team just because we are still in the bottom and we've not been successful with the sexy, meaning the sexy picks.
Right.
We did quite well with Miles. We did quite well with Joe Thomas, for real. And we've never found our franchise quarterback, our complete franchise quarterback. And so I didn't want him here before that, because I am personally tired of seeing these guys, even if they don't hype themselves up, the hype that comes up and then the rug gets pulled up under them. And
Yep.
I'm tired of seeing that. So I hope that doesn't happen to this kid here, but personally, I did not want him here for that reason and for that reason alone.
But he said he the one to try to change the culture. So
Yeah.
let's hope that we stick with him, because since 1999, we've had 40 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That is
Oh my gosh.
disgusting.
That's ridiculous. That is
40
ridiculous.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That is
40.
crazy.
A whole team of quarterbacks. I mean,
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah,
almost a whole team of 53 quarterbacks on this team. That is sad. That
extremely.
is sad.
And
Extremely sad.
several were top draft pick quarterbacks.
Yes. Yep.
That is crazy. All right, I'm gonna go on record and say something because you brought up somebody's name, and I got to put it out there to see how I
Uh-oh.
feel. And this is gonna drive
Uh-oh.
everybody crazy.
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna tell you, this is just my opinion, and I have coaching experience, so
Mhm.
I'm able to put my 2 cents to this. Joe Thomas was overrated, and
Whoa.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why I feel he was
Whoa.
overrated, and the reason why he got as much publicity as he did. He was a top pick that was not a quarterback that came into a sorry Browns team. So it was easy for him to seem as if
The bar was low.
the bar was extremely low because I remember watching games with Joe Thomas and I'm screaming at the television like, you're a number one pick and you're getting killed. Like, oh, I said kill, can't say kill on the live, whatever the deal is. But you're getting beat. You're getting beat like crazy. And I pay attention to stuff like that because I get on Myles Garrett when he's not doing what he's supposed to do. I pay attention to stuff. And I'm sitting back and I watch Joe Thomas. And I honestly think he was the bright spot on a terrible team. That's the reason why he got the accolades he got. But other than that, I personally feel that he was overrated.
So you believe that if he was on the Chiefs, he would have done mediocre?
Yep.
Really? I don't feel that way about it.
I mean, but it's all you got to do. I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, if you can really go back and watch those games and see how many times quarterbacks was getting hit from the blind side, which is supposed to have been his area, I was not happy, man. I didn't see it, and I argue with people to this day about it. Like I personally don't feel that he's a Hall of Famer. I just don't. I think he was the bright spot on a terrible team that
On a
was not a
terrible team.
quarterback position.
All right. I mean, that's your opinion. I mean, I disagree with it because I think that he was all that and then some, and he played the role on a sorry team the best he possibly can. And, you know, offensive linemen who, you know, they don't get accolades like everyone else, but he showed me numerous times of being a top tier offensive lineman. Yeah, he probably got beat. He'll probably sit next to us and be like, "Yeah, I got beat on it. I got beat on that. I got beat on that." But to have that type of security that I'm not going to say it didn't matter when he got beat, of course, but I marveled at the dude from day one when I seen him at Wisconsin when he was invited to the green room and he said, you know, forget about it. I'm on the boat with my dad. We scheduled it. And so as a person, he is totally legit with me. And as he played, yeah, he might have got bit, but let's say, what if he was 70% out there? Was he 70% to your liking?
No.
No, not even 70. All right. Was he 50? Not
Maybe
50.
about 55. Maybe about 55%.
Okay. All right. Well, the last time I talked to a executive for the NFL, they said if they can get 40% out of these guys, 40%, because everybody's so good. Everybody's so flipping good. If they can get 40% of production out of these guys, it's a win. So if we take your numbers you just brought, if 50%, he was 50% good, then he's over 10% over that threshold over the 40.
Over the threshold of the coaches. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. Okay. All right, that was an extra one I just threw in there because that's always a debate that I go in with people about all the time. That's just me, man. All right, let's go to the
love
next
O-line.
I feel it. I feel it.
I love the O-line just because of how I played, and it's hard for me to push anything of those guys down. It's hard. It's just hard.
I feel it. I feel it. All right, so look, next topic. Belichick's babe is not having it. Did you see that? Okay, so apparently there was an interview he just did,
Mhm.
and his what 24-year-old girlfriend,
20. I
27,
think she's 25.
okay,
25.
was calling all of the shots. You can't
Yeah.
answer this question. Don't ask that question. Nobody needs to know how old I was when we met. This, that, and the other. Is Belichick in trouble? Like, is the Belichick name in trouble?
Is the name in trouble? Yeah, because this is totally suspect. And I think you posted something about, do you feel good about him like around, a 25-year? It just looks sus. And her being at that interview is sus. Everything about them is sus. And he's 70, what, 71, 72?
72, yeah.
Something like that. Dog, you posted a question. Would you want him around? No. And it kind of, I was talking to one of my clients today about it. It kind of disgusts me, especially someone with daughters. It's really disgusting.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
I know what it is for, whatever, from the both of them. I got that, and I'm keeping it clean. But it's just really kind of sad. And then the fact that she, my client was saying, if she dressed like a professional and presented herself like a professional, this wouldn't be so bad. But she's still in the club dressing era with this 71-year-old.
Right.
But you know what? If this makes him happy, who are we to judge it? It just personally, no, you can't date my daughter. No, this ain't happening.
Not at all.
No.
And it's crazy to me. Me personally, I know they said that his kids and family can't stand her. So that tells me when you in a situation like that, people know that this is a money grab on her end. This is Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is Anna Nicole Smith. He liked the fact that he got him a little young thing on his arm, and and she getting the money. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He feeling happy, and she getting the money. But I don't get this old man thing and these young girl things. That to me is predator vibes to me. And
Yes,
Belichick,
yeah.
Belichick being as old as he is, you got kids that's older than her.
Yeah.
Like older than her. Come on, man. Like no.
And now he's coaching at UNC. You gonna have your wife? No, dog. Around, I know how I was as a 21-year-old on a football team. You gonna have? No, I ain't. I'm sorry. I'm just not happening. But if that's what they like, man,
them players is gonna be after his wife. Them players is gonna be after his wife.
Yeah, simply.
Most definitely.
If not physically, definitely in the mind.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So yeah, I don't know, man. That was just whatever.
It is creepy vibes. It's a totally creep vibe. It's a total predator thing. It's a total. I don't. To each his own, man.
And the fact that she calling the shots. That's the other part.
That's the other thing.
She calling the shots. So that means like that's gonna turn into a huge family like brawl. Not physically, but financially.
You seeing at the end of his life, they get married and whatnot. Those kids are gonna fight.
All day.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yep. All day.
Man.
All right.
Life
we're gonna
is
move
short.
on to, what's up? Go ahead.
I was just saying, life is short, and if that's what you like, that's so be it. I ain't gonna knock it too much, but it to me it don't sit right. But
My
go ahead, man.
cousin said my cousin said they're gonna try to knock off his woman. He didn't say woman used the B word, but I ain't gonna go there with that.
Right.
He said, but them players gonna try to knock her off. Which I mean, most definitely, you know they're going to try to. That's especially in the day and age of exposing and all of that other stuff, man. They
Oh yeah,
definitely going to
yeah.
try to do that. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Cavs, man. Cavs got owned by the Pacers yesterday. That's kind of scary. Did you watch the
It is
game?
scary, and yeah, and Indiana is really good. They were good in the season. I was hoping Milwaukee would take them out. That didn't happen. All they
Yeah,
took out was what's the name's Halliburton's dad, which is
yeah,
cool too. But they're a really good team, and I didn't put too much on this. It's 7 games, so
right.
I got to believe the Cavs have seen them. Last night was their best. What did the Cavs shoot? 1 for 9 at the 3 or something like that. It was
Yeah, they were
something
off.
disgusting, right? And they were shooting lights out from the 3. They couldn't miss.
Yeah,
And since and they, it looks like they're hurt. It looks, maybe their feelings are hurt a little bit. But again, that is good. That is good motivation for them in the next games, in the next game, in the next game.
right.
In this game, if anyone out here thought they were going to be done in 4 or 5, no, you can throw that out. This is going to be a 7-game series. This
Oh,
is
most
7.
definitely, most
This is
definitely.
7. So
Now,
therefore, I didn't put much on that game last night. Garland wasn't there.
right.
They picked out how Strauss plays, and his handle abilities. So they found those weaknesses. His shot off the pick and off the roll is absolutely fabulous. But if you can prevent that happening, then you've taken away at least a third of the game right there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they did well.
So we know, okay, the Pacers beat the Cavs 3 games in the
Mhm.
regular season. So they won the
Yeah.
series against the Cavs. That's
Mhm.
kind of scary because all that gives them is confidence and motivation. And then they came right into the home and said, we're going to do it to y'all again. So
Right.
now it's 4 games. And they put 121, what 121 to 102.
121. Yeah.
They
121.
they opened it up. Now I understand Garland plays a major role, but the Pacers was in this position last year. They hungry. They want it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and and they sat back and they gave it to the Cavs, man. And at home, I'm gonna keep stressing that at home. So that's scary. So that means the Cavs got to be able to do it to them in Indiana.
Well, that's pretty much what Pat Riley was saying. In this, when the playoffs start, the 7-game series, you have got to win at least 2 away.
Yes.
You got to. So that was their one right there, away. Now, what the Cavs do on Wednesday night, Tuesday night, that's gonna see. Now, you ask me on Wednesday, we come here on Wednesday, I'm gonna be like, yeah, oh damn, we're in trouble.
Right.
But right now, I think the Cavs have seen them at their best. They shot, 60% from the 3, whatever. That's hard to stop anyway. Me, you, and 3 others can go out here against anybody, and if we shoot 60%, we're gonna win the game from the 3.
Very true.
It's that simple. So I think we just need to be patient a little bit.
But they shot better than us at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that concerns me.
Yeah, I got you. But it's 7 series. It's 7 games. We got 7 games. The next tell is Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Tuesday night will tell it all. Tell it all. Do they want to just drag their feet out there? Because we know Indiana ain't gonna drag their feet.
No,
at
they're
all.
hungry. They're hungry.
Yeah. So we just got to get, more hungry than him or at their level of hunger.
Yeah.
Last night, we had, Mitchell, he was hungry towards the 3rd and the 4th. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Most definitely. My Knicks, I just gotta put that out there. I'm my Knicks gonna win this series against Boston. I'm just gonna say that.
Wow.
I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna call it because I'm a Knicks fan and I gotta be
Wow.
like that. So
You trying to get Spike Lee to get one of your movies up? What's up, dog?
hey man, listen. I've been a Knicks fan for a long time, man. So I'm saying my Knicks is gonna surprise everybody. They're gonna take out Boston in 7. I ain't calling it no earlier than that. In 7.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
I also know I'm talking shit right now. I'm just being a fan. I'm just talking shit
that's
right now. I'm being a
that's
fan, but I'm rolling with my boys. My boys are gonna do it, man. That's how
what.
I gotta think.
Okay. I mean, I don't see it. Boston is really woo.
Yeah, they
Boston's
tough.
really good, but everybody's it's like at any given Sunday, any given series, you can if you shoot 65% from the three and they shoot 29, any given day, it can
Most
happen.
definitely.
So good luck. I mean,
We'll see tonight. We'll see what they do tonight.
yeah,
All
it should
right,
be. It's
so
gonna be. All these series now are gonna be really, really good, and even the Golden State, like they're gonna be good series. I mean, it's gonna be something to watch, and that's the way they want it.
hell yeah, most
That's the way
definitely.
they want it. Yep.
All
I
right, so
I didn't know
we
you were a
coming
Knicks fan.
we in the last 8 minutes.
All
So we're
right.
gonna get into some politics real quick because I know that you a big politic guy. So I'm gonna ask you this question: is Trump trying to start a civil war?
I totally believe that Trump is Trump. The problem is these F nuts that are supporting him, that are believing everything he says. And that is really troublesome because we don't have the World Book Encyclopedia anymore. We have Google. We have sources on top of sources on top of sources to see his lies right when he says it in real time. The problem is that Trump has tapped in to the true ignorance of this country,
Yep.
which is the true problem. Now, trying to start a civil war, no, but it works in his favor to have one. So I guess my answer would be yes. It's sad, but how could you deny it? How could you fire up these guys, tell them anything they want to hear or don't want to hear, show them anything that they want to see? Trump should be the Pope. What the hell? And as a Christian, that really, this whole thing has got me all messed up. It
Right.
does. How the faith that I believe in has followed this dude. I don't get it. It's unfathomable to my nugget. I can't. My gray matter stresses out from it, and so
Right.
I'm just gonna say yes, ignorantly yes.
Okay. So now I personally think he is because he wants to enact martial law. So he's trying to do any and everything he can
Oh yeah.
to poke at us. Now my cousin just said no. I don't know
Oh,
why he's saying no, but I mean it is what it is on that one. But when you sit back and you talk
no,
about trying
because
to erase all of the black accomplishments,
yes.
so if that's not a telltale sign of yes, that's what he's trying to do, then I don't know what else is.
And so, what we as I'm not just going to say black folks, but I'm going to say true Americans that believe in the Constitution, that we weren't into it, by the way, but
Right.
believe in law and order. You see when they come out and let's take away Jackie Robinson, yada yada. Nothing happens. Let's put it back in. Okay, let's try something else. You can tell they're poking at us. You got to look outside the box, right?
Yep.
He is definitely poking at trying to get black folks, starting with black folks out there, so he can do that martial law. For 100%, that's what he's trying to do. That's why I refuse to go out there and protest. And truthfully, to keep it real, it ain't our battle just yet.
Just yet.
It's not.
Yeah.
Just yet. And so what I'd always tell my minorities is, hey, be patient. Don't just hold back. Wait it out. Hold back.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
with you on that one.
I right now don't understand how you could cheer for old state and support Donald Trump. I have mind-boggling troubles with that. Right. Seriously. Right. I don't get it. I don't get it. And the fact that people are still walking with this dude, you know, he just lies to them, lies to us up front. I'm gonna find out of the January 6th invaders. I'm gonna find out which one did the real criminal acts and which ones were just protests. No, a couple days later, just let them go. All of them. What?
Just let them go. Exactly. Like it ain't nothing.
Let me and you go downtown with signs, and here we go. You might see us on Wednesday. You might not ever see us.
Or it's that simple. On the news being arrested.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. Most definitely.
And all we did was post signs outside of the Fed building. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And America has got to wake up. Now, if this is what they want, I'm starting to believe that Sir Marcus Garvey was correct. That's the way I feel. After slavery, they should have sent us back. Especially if this is the outcome where I have to fear about leaving my house. I have to fear about saying what I just said, you know. Right. And that ain't how I want to live. So I don't understand. And you know, you got family members that are following in us. It's tough for me. It is tough. That's a whole nother topic, but that's tough. It's tough for all of us, and it doesn't have to be. And it's ridiculous. And so, you know, to those who are listening, stay home while they protest. Exactly. Stay home.
All right. Well, we down to the last 3 minutes of the show, and I don't know if you paid attention, but we do this thing called "Get It Off Your Chest." So, what you want to get off your chest? It could be about anything. It could be about anything. What is it you want to get off your chest?
I got to go first. What you got?
I'll go first. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know if you heard, but in Rochester, Minnesota, there was a lady by the name of Shiloh Hendricks who called a little 5-year-old kid on the playground the N-word multiple times because let me make sure I put this out there. An autistic black kid,
yes,
the N-word multiple times because he supposedly stole a toy out of her bag. But the 5-year-old kid, he saw a toy, and you sitting up in there and you're calling this little kid the N-word. The problem that I have, you voiced your opinion about this. The shit is out of control with me because she did a fundraiser. So she did a fundraiser. I think it's called GoFundMe.
It was GoFundMe.
So she did it and said, "Help me protect my family." Now, she done raised $600,000.
Yeah.
$600,000. That lets me know that the world we live in right now is built on nothing but racism. Donald 100%. Trump opened the door for it. Donald Trump opened the door for it. He made it acceptable to be ignorant and nasty and racist right now. And the fact that she was able to raise $600,000 really irritates my soul. But the part that really pisses me off is the comments that people were like putting in these, the 88s, which was like symbols for Hitler and stuff.
Hitler. Yep.
And the lightning bolts and all of this other stuff. And that shit really bothers my soul, because here's my thing. You're in America. Take that German shit to Germany and do that. If you so tough and you so big and bad, take that shit over there. Go do that shit over there. Don't bring that up. We ain't on that shit here. But apparently we are, because $600,000 in less than a week says that this country is more racist than we know.
So the same things that are on your chest that you get off, there's mine too. And the true issue is a lot of these people miss what their grandparents and their parents possibly, and if their great grands are still around, they miss that opportunity. And they are mad at that opportunity and want that opportunity now. And that catalyst POS that's in the White House has opened the door for them to have a piece of that.
Yep.
Ignorance.
Yep.
Actually, not a piece, 3/4 of that ignorance.
Yep.
To the point that where I sit up here and I see this, and y'all want me to go to church with these people? Let me just keep it real. Y'all want me to go to church with these people, where I have to figure out, are you praising, or you, after we leave, you're going to be hazing? I don't need that. And then,
Right.
and the last thing on that topic is for you Christians out there, heaven, if you believe in it, is a DEI program. I'm gonna drop the mic on that.
Okay, I like that one. So that brings us to the end of this show. I want to thank my man AG for stepping in for Coach Shot. As we said, we want to wish him a speedy recovery so he can be back with us next week. But man, it was a pleasure to have you on.
Oh, my pleasure, baby. My pleasure.
And I appreciate you again. And that brings us to the end of this show, y'all. And we'll get back with y'all next week. All right.
All right. Keep it real, baby. I'll holla. Yep.